Hello and welcome back everybody to Because We're Here. Last time we met Eugen and Wolf while they were trying to enlist themselves, or in Wolf's case he was still thinking about it. And yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Eugen the noble guy, Wolf pretty much the opposite. So let's go on, shall we? Enlisted, yes, quite clearly. It was the only human response to these Leylandian infractions. I wasn't expecting such a sincere response. That's strangely adult. Hey, man, you know this douchebag has preparing this war speech probably for the last 10 years of his life. That, and the ladies love a gentleman who can serve his patriotic duty. The danger, the excitement, the dashing uniform. Eligible young lasses from here to Levasseur will be falling at my feet and begging to walk the halls of Reinhold Manor in wedded bliss. Yeah, okay, that sounds about right. Eugen turns to face me and offers an exaggerated, comical bow. Forget I said that strangely adult stuff. Unimpressed, August continues. Are the Blaue Rose fields going to be alright in your absence? Yes, indeed. My mother has consented to placing her semi-retirement on hiatus and once more overseeing the cultivation full-time. Now her son is doing his noble duty in the defense of the fatherland. She knows that her duty, as a mother, has been a rousing success. Is someone like you going to go through officer training, Eugen? Negative, my lad. I wish only to serve my country in the humblest way possible. I have enlisted as a mere private to serve alongside the masses. Really? That sounds unrealistic and stupid. But okay. If workers across Wessling are joining our ranks, to vault myself over the heads of my countrymen would be churlish indeed. It is churlish that... What the fuck? Which noble idiot who had the opportunity to become an officer didn't grab the opportunity? And usually the officers, most of the time, were at least some kind of nobles. Not all, but a lot of them, you know. No, sir. It's the common man's experience for me. Aristocratic though our peacetime military may be, in these exciting times, it is through the eyes of the man on the street that this war is best experienced. Best experienced. Let's react to First World War. Yay! Very noble. It is pointedly not noble. Yes, good point. I always thought that Eugen's quest for beauty and honor, or whatever it is he's even talking about half of the time, would involve a great deal more superiority and posturing than this. I'm actually quite impressed that he's managed to set his personal standing aside. But, at the same time, if even Eugen is willing to forget his aristocracy for half a second, is that possibly the most ominous sign of anything yet? If this is to be the defining moment of our generation, all I can ask is that my experience is representative. Now I must away. The venerable Mrs. Reinhold has slaved in the kitchen, alongside a bevy of domestic servants naturellement, to prepare a veritable banquet in honor of my departure. Well, I shall see you again as Private Weil. For certain, I am that assured of your integrity. Take care of yourself, Elfriede. And gone he is. With a flourish, Eugen swans off across the square, shaking Enlistee's hands and bowing to various townsmen as he goes. How does he manage to make "my mother has made dinner" sound like a sprawling epic? True that. Ha! He must be excited. For blue bloods like Eugen, a big old war breaking out is like they've won a sweepstakes. Yeah, but as mentioned, makes no sense that he's... well, whatever. Whatever. I guess he has to be a normal private so that, I don't know, Elfriede can possibly meet him there as a post girl. I wonder how that will happen. That she goes to the front to deliver letters, I suppose. On the first day of open season, which is also Christmas. But as he said, that is the first time it's been properly open to people like me. That's why I'm so grateful. So I can understand why Eugen is loving the inclusivity. What workers and nobles side by side? Does the sudden opening of the gates to vast swaths of working men not worry you at least a little, August? August! God damn it! I'll never learn that! I mean, I know that. Can you imagine how difficult it is to say a name the whole time in German, even though you're speaking English? That is not easy. But still, that I still don't have that down. Why would it worry me? It's progression. Society is progressing. Therefore, we all go all the time to war. Must you be so cynical all the time? Do you really wake up every morning and think, what dream of August can I tear down today? Hey, sorry. Well, either way, I'm sure it's the kind of thing that would appeal to Eugen, considering how long he's been trying to earn the respect of the gardeners rather than just the goodwill of their elderly mothers. Admittedly, Reinhold Senior's shoes are tough ones to fill, God rest his soul. But if Eugen is going to do his time in the army with the rest of us, there's no way he's not going to come back the talk of the town. Yeah, that is true though, he's probably really the talk of the town if he won't become an officer. At the very least, his own workers might stop occasionally caving and giving him black eyes. Ha! I'm not sure it'll ever go as far as that. August casually checks his watch, before quickly meeting my gaze and talking slightly more animatedly. Lunch is nearly over. Elfriede, you should get back to the office. Oh, crackers. Yes, well, see you later, August? If I ever got to the end of this damned Kui, yes. Or Quay, I don't really know. August looks like he's on the verge of speaking, but keeps thinking better of it. Finally, I give up and motion for him to continue. I'm a busy woman, you know. Oh, apparently, everyone is meeting at the Kaiser's Arms. At 8. Do you think you'll come? Huh? Some kind of send-off? Yep. Should be, fun. It would be great if you could make it. The Kaiser's Arms is our local watering hole. Yeah, I already figured as much. It's kind of an old man's pub. Well, I mean... Yeah, no. Just shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Just read. And that's me talking to me, of course. There's a couple of young women working there, regularly leered at by the patrons. Of course. But primarily it's just a darkish, smoky, beer-scented hole. Well, strange women who go there. As it is a special occasion, I shall grace the establishment with my presence. Establishment is fairly rich. Nonetheless, August's face lights up. He looks far too happy that I'm turning up to a place like that. But I suppose simply being willing to must, say a lot. Ah, fantastic! Right, you'd better get going. Yes, goodbye. Try not to mess up the forms and end up in the Navy or the Scouts or something. I'll try. That would be actually a funny plot twist. Like, everyone is on the front and he's, I don't know, somewhere off the distance, I don't know. A few go over there to Leylandien, France probably, and he goes to the other side, to Russia. Whatever Russia is in this world, you know. That would be a kind of funny plot twist. Alright, I've got a lot of time to kill at work. So, if you're interested, I can give you the full story of this whole war. Okay, I'm actually interested. Is this historically correct, or is this something self-invented? The Great War, as they're already calling it. The title doesn't really hint at a small, self-contained struggle, does it? Sorry. I know it's annoying everyone to constantly be looking on the bad side. I'll try and be a bit more patriotic. Anyway, I'd be happy to give you some information about the continent of LaSalle, as well as the political and diplomatic background of the war. So LaSalle is Europe, I suppose. But I wouldn't say this knowledge will necessarily change a great deal of my experience in the coming weeks, so I can condense it to an incredibly short passage if you'd rather get on with my story. Oh, no. I mean, I don't know how you people feel, but I want the full account. If it's boring, I can cut it out anyway, but at least I want to know it. Full account, please. Ah, a budding historian, I see. Yeah. Successful stopped studying history. Right. Well, our country, Wessling, is a veritable behemoth of a nation. A federation of formerly warring smaller states, unified 100 years ago and now led by Kaiser Ernst I. Okay, so it's really Germany. We make up one of the two major powers in mainland LaSalle. We have always enjoyed an uneasy peace with the other large country, Leyland. Though less advanced technologically, they're a democratic and marginally more progressive nation, as well as the seat of an overseas empire. So really France. The smaller, predominantly rural nations of Edgoes and the minuscule liberal nation of Levasseur border the both of us, acting as effective corridors. So Levasseur is probably Luxembourg, and Edgoes, maybe the Netherlands, maybe Belgium, I don't know. They generally arbitrate when needed and don't get involved themselves. But 4 months ago, Levasseur nationalists shot and killed our Minister of the Interior, Fritz von Lohkamp, as he was leaving his office in our capital, Zandkool. Zandkool. I put up right now what's Zandkool, with an E in the end, but if it was Zandkoole with the E in the end, it would mean this. Cool, huh? Great capital, gotta say. So, Wessling is a mixture of Austria and Germany, and Leyland is... And everything is just mixed together from the First World War, you know? Probably out of convenience reasons. And that makes sense, I guess. Of course, the murder of the Crown Prince of Austria and such didn't happen near Germany or something like that, and not in the Netherlands, nor in Belgium, Luxembourg, anywhere. But as mentioned, it's a fantasy world. So it makes sense. These men, Jean-Pierre Jouerco, I suppose, and Émile Delescluze, were extradited and hanged, but the Levasseur government were further pressed for reparations. Negotiations had been ongoing since that time, with Wessling insisting that Levasseur take responsibility for the actions of its citizens and make substantial land concessions, specifically the rich soil of the Vermorel region. Cynics would complain of Wessling's opportunism, alleging the Kaiser had his eyes on the region for some time. On the other hand, the Levasseur government emphasized how they were able to honor Wessling's demands with a token land offer and push to disown the activists too in the strongest possible terms. Cynics here focused on the strong nationalist sentiment in some quarters of the Levasseur administrations, and the unlikeliness that Guericol and the other dude really were acting independently of any higher power. Earlier in the week, while this diplomatic minefield was still ongoing, it transpired that a clandestine alliance had formed between Levasseur and Leyland, our opposing continental superpower. The alliance took to the negotiation table once more, this time staunchly opposing Wessling's demands and making it clear that Levasseur would be under Leyland's protection for the time being. Long weary of Leyland's ever-growing empire, the Kaiser was shaken by the powerfully expansionist overtones of this development. The breakdown of negotiation led to a last-ditch lunge in the name of Wesslinger imperialism, and our troops moved into Levasseur at 10 o'clock, I suppose, last night, setting up camp in the agricultural Vermorel region that they so desired. At 6 o'clock this morning, war was declared. It appears the war will be fought in Levasseur, specifically the Vermorel region. We're not exactly the most remote town in Wessling, but it's still good a few hours away on the train. It's unlikely the war will ever reach much further than that anyway. Once the fate of the Vermorels decided one way or another, it's sure to all fall apart. Yeah, sure. And Edgos remains neutral. Thus, the Edgosian corridor remains closed. If this is historically correct, Wessling won't give a shit about that. It's November now, and Eugen, August, and all the others, I suppose, are saying it'll all be over and done with by Christmas. I hope they are correct about that. Anyway, that's the story. Draw your own conclusions about who's in the right and who's in the wrong. I have no idea. But it's kind of irrelevant at this stage. I'm a Wesslinger. We all are. And we'll do what's right. If not for our country, then for our people. Yeah. So it's really basically the story of World War I, all stuffed into 4 countries. I mean, of course, there were more countries involved, but for this story, it serves better if it's just 4 countries, you know. Can August really know what he's talking about? He's quick to run his mouth, but does he really understand the things he's saying? The things he's signing up to? Of course he doesn't, that was kind of obvious. He balks when he thinks he might get in a fight here in Boschberg, and a very large part of me thinks he doesn't appreciate what armed combat really entails. Eugen's poetic temptations aren't exactly helping matters. He seems marginally more clued in, but has he even realized the full extent of what a war might actually mean? Wolf seems like the one who might really know what he's in for, but given his reasons for wanting to fight, I'm not sure that's exactly a good thing. True. So, Elfriede, thoughts? The war? I'm not sure. I mean, we're doing it. She's asking probably for something post-related. I mean, we have to do it. I mean, war's fine. I mean, it's fine itself. I mean, I just think I'm not quite so comfortable with it being on my doorstep all of a sudden. Well, unfortunately, it's just not the sort of thing you can kick away at this juncture. Oh, I see. She's really talking about the war. Someone left a war in a basket on our doorstep with a note saying, "This is your war now. And now it's our responsibility to take it in and care for it. Try and handle it right. Raise it into a good, upstanding war that knows right from wrong." Mrs. Müller, please take pride that even today, a day of hyperbole and grand superstitious oratory, that was, without doubt, the single worst metaphor I've yet to hear. Yeah, true that. That was by far. I was already wondering what kind of nonsense is that, which I believe might deserve some kind of medal. Well, it's on everyone's doorstep anyway. That's why all this national pride business is making such a big comeback right now, I suppose. So, are we going to pull everything together then? And be a good, efficient post office for the sake of Wessling? Oh yes, as a bare minimum. I'm doing some factory work in the evenings, making ammunition, and what have you. Women have got to step up right about now, Elfriede. It's great to see you covering August's shifts, and if you ever find yourself at a loose end in your free time, we could always use another pair of hands. Thanks. I'll consider it. Hey, isn't it time you were going? Oh, yes. I was possibly putting it off a bit, but I'll go. It means more for everyone to get a good send-off than it does for me to sit here like this. Yeah. Oh, I hope this won't be too sad. I hate sad shit. I'm such a what do you call it? I'm such a pussy. Let's put it like it is. I'm such a pussy. Unable to shake these thoughts from my hat, I slowly get up and leave. As I approach the Kaiser's army, I can hear raised voices, and I'm jolted out of my haze. The shouts are quite identifiable coming from inside the pub. What is even going on? Probably everyone is already drunk. Oh, Elfriede! Good that you're here. Sorry that there's a spot of bother right now. This guy's being difficult. No, okay, they are beating each other up then. I glance over August's shoulder and spy a gaggle of townsmen. First off, why is this music so fucking loud? I'm making the volume a little bit down. Okay, here we go. That was really... Oh, whoops. That was really loud. I turned down the volume a bit. Half of them are already in uniform. I suppose they want to have a memorable send-off. The other half, in plain clothes, seem to be making the most of their last night of civilian living. The one thing that unites them all is that all are cycled around one particular shouting match between Eugen and, I believe, Gerhard Leer, which translates into Gerhard Empty. You hurt me! What on earth do you mean to insinuate, Leer? I've said what I came to say. I'm not going into it further. Gerhard Leer. I see Gerhard around town a lot. He's a gardener in the Blaue Rose fields, and I believe he's involved with the cultivation of the roses, rather than the pure manual labor. He doesn't seem like the friendliest of people, but you can tell it's not deliberate. He's extremely quiet and keeps to himself an awful lot. I don't think he's a very wide circle of acquaintances. For him to be the center of attention in any way is deeply unusual. What's going on? How has this come to be? Your excuse is pitiful, Leer. It sounds to me like the actions of a man with ulterior motives. Ulterior motives? I just have other things on my plate. Gerhard, are you a traitor? I'm not a traitor. I can't. I can think of only one reason why a young man in good health would not immediately enlist. A contempt for the fatherland. A plan to sell out Borschberg. Oh God. Gerhard hasn't enlisted. Based on what I've seen today, he must be the singular man in town to neglect to do so. Does he understand what's going on? Or is it just cowardice? What? That's not true. Do you want Leylandians marching through these streets, Leer? Do you want the Blaue Rose fields raided? Your mother, your sister accosted by blackguard foreign infantrymen? What? Wessling was the aggressor. Leylandians are going to be coming anywhere near the town. How dare you? Gerhard, you can't come in here saying these things. We were so heavily provoked. Have you been taken in by Leylandian propaganda? We're not the aggressor. We're the victims. No, of course we were provoked. Of course. I understand that. Completely. 100%. But do you also not agree that maybe we went a bit mad there with the old reciprocation? Leer, it might interest you to know that I have, on my person at this very minute, the Holy Blade Blaumarsch. A Holy Blade? Uh-oh. Whenever Eugen talks about his Holy Blade, he means a rusted old saber that usually hangs above his front porch. He can't honestly be planning on taking that to the war. The Holy Blade Blaumarsch, one of the twin Blauroses blades passed down from Reinhold to Reinhold, should the time ever come that an Heer would need to act in the defense of Borschberg, Reinhold Manor, and the Blaue Rose fields. In other words, to defend the fields that, may I remind you, Leer, support even your wretched cowardly lifestyle. And if... Stop it! You don't need to say this. I don't... And if Leylandian conquest is indeed your intent, Leer, then I compel you to own up to your crimes so that I may cut you down right now. Eugen, you are literally my boss. How can you endanger your employees like this? You're hurting your own business. Leer, you will address me as Private Reinhold. It is my duty to protect the humble, endangered citizen, but if a non-fighting Gulrap like you is going to affect heirs, then I refer you back to my earlier comment regarding cutting down. This is ridiculous. What are you saying? Gerhard panics and scans the room for any support. He is met with row upon row of angry faces. He sees me, and I realize that my expression is far more inquisitive than anything. I see the cogs in his return. Over the course of a second, I see him go from, I should call for her to chip in, to, it's only going to make things worse. He sadly turns away. I actually feel kind of sorry for him. Is that bad? Considering the circumstances, that feels bad. Leer, the gentry of Borschberg are enlisting their entirety. By which I mean, I am enlisting. Entirety and okay. But the workers of Borschberg, a far larger demographic, are also enlisting. Practically to a man. So because it's a mass movement, it's justified? When has that ever been the case? You cannot attempt to frame us as the villains at this juncture. Leia, if you continue down this path, your retribution as the antagonist of this town's history will outlive you by centuries. Eugen, you haven't got the facts. None of us have the facts. How do you hope to find peace in your lifetime, Leia? And what a woman will look twice at a sniveling coward like you? Do you imagine any lady to be impressed by this display, sir? It's your own life you are ruining, not ours. How can you even be thinking like that? Leia, you were extended an invitation to this gathering on good faith that you would have found your courage by the end's day. It has become abundantly clear that you are a miserable, self-serving worm and will remain one until the end of days. Please leave. Eugen, you can't keep on like this. Listen to me. I can't fight. But what does it matter to you? My life is my property, and you can't come swaggering in and claim ownership. Eugen carefully considers the wording of his next remark. Just as he opens his mouth, a loud bang echoes through the pub as the front door is pushed open with far more force than is really necessary. Wolf Hausmann, garbed in the full regalia of a Wesslinger private, enters. He'll probably get billed for that door. He won't pay it, but he'll get billed. Hausmann's enlisted? Wolf signed up, huh? Wolf Hausmann's is in the army? How the hell did that happen? Wolf surveys the room, his eyes flicking from one person to the next. He skips right over me, of course, and gives a terse nod to the men assembled. Gents. His eye come to rest on Eugen and Gerhard. What's going on here? Gerhard hasn't signed up. You see that, Gerhard? Even Wolf signed up. It's a disgrace that they let him in, but still. Wolf is the worst person ever I've ever met. And right now, you're even worse than him. Gerhard, Leia didn't enlist. Wolf's gaze snaps in Gerhard's direction. His brow wrinkles, and the veins in his forehead rise to prominence almost immediately. I've seen Wolf get arrested, and look less angry than this. Listen to me, Hausmann. You're normal. You're not one of the mob. You'll understand me. There is no humanitarian evidence for... You shut your fucking mouth! Hey, sir. You weren't sure you'll get enlisted yourself a few seconds ago. Okay, a few hours ago, but still, what the fuck is up with these people here? Fuck you! You think you can just get away with that? You think you don't deserve this, you fucking worm? Help! Hey, worm, I said that too. Great minds think alike. Gerhard, you had to sign up. There was no choice. This town has treated me like a piece of dirt, like something is scrapped off the bottom of its shoe. Wolf, you're hurting me. But I signed up, Gerhard. I still signed up. You had to. What kind of spineless, self-serving fucking amoeba doesn't realize that? You're entitled to do that. And I'm very sorry to hear of your hardships, by the way. And I consider us to be kindred spirits at the moment in time, if that sways your hand on the matter of letting me down. Wolf tightens his grip and Gerhard winces in pain. He's not impressed by that kindred spirits line. But it is a choice. We live in a democracy, sort of, and I get a choice. Eugen von Reinhold over there signed up. He's practically leading the goddamn charge. I hate him. He's smug and affected and can't even take a single solitary beating to the face without firing people. But I'm fighting by his side. You think I wanted to do that? Where is he going with this? This isn't the best argument he started into here. He looks round, obviously for another target, and sees August. August Weil signed up. He's gonna be watching my back in the fight, and he's the least manly man I've met in my life. Or so I thought, until you came out with this behavior. I look over at August. He's not meeting my gaze. He stares at his feet with dead eyes. I'm not sure that he appreciates being used as an example in that sense. Wolf sees me looking, and his eyes come to the rest on me. Uh-oh. Elfriede Raus is a brain-dead harpy. But whether she deserves it or not, I'm fighting to protect people like her. Hey, not bad. I actually got off quite lightly. Wait, no. That's not the attitude to take here. Maybe Wolf would be a good salesman, with with those kind of mind games. I had to sign up, Gerhard. I had to. You know why? Because I'm not a worthless waste of skin. Help! Someone! He's going to injure me. I'll allow this. Nobody's going to help you, Leia. Shut up, Eugen. You do not allow anything. Fuck! Christ! See, Leia? Even I'm entering this piece of shit army, and I've got a man against the wall. How dare you, who isn't even threatening anybody in a pub, not sign up? Wow, I did not expect Wolf to use himself as an example there. Strangely, he hasn't even lost this argument though. Insane. People like you are destroying our country from the inside out. You're as bad as any Leylandian. I'm not a Leylandian. I'm Wesslinger. Pure Wesslinger heritage. And what's the problem? I'm not a soldier. I'm a gardener. I'm a horticulturalist. I read books. I read books as well, Leia. And every book I have read is adamant that the pursuit of glory on the battlefield is the most noble and true of all callings. I'm not a killer. You're right, you most certainly do not possess the soul of a killer. But what breed of man lets that stand in the path of his raison d'etre? If you don't have the mind for the war, Leia, then you can always give it your body. You can't possibly mean... Indeed, Leia, it is an unsettling truth, but a truth all the same, that not every Boschbeck man will necessarily make a safe return. You're the most fucked up dude ever. This is so fucking ridiculous. But, I mean, probably was like that. That's the thing, it probably was like that. Well, technically that's true about some men. I'm sure about the fellows, huh? Right, Eugen? Either way, those that do fall nobly in the pursuit of justice can sleep easy, their souls at resting, knowing that they gave themselves to a most honorable cause. You can't be serious. You expect me to believe that you apply that to yourself? I wholeheartedly do, Leia. Any man who fights should know that true victory, true justice, will only be realized if they are willing to put down their lives as collateral, should it be called for. And if the tide of history should sweep Eugen von Reinhold away, then so be it. No, I can't speak for you, Eugen, but I certainly have no intention of being swept away by anything. Likewise, I ain't budging. I am the tide. You're all going to be swept away. None of you are the tide. I am the tide. Nobody is the tide. The only ones who are not going to be swept away are people like me. A number of the fellows began to loudly voice disagreement, but Eugen throws up a hand to silence them. Weil, Hausmann, I pray that your words hold true, gentlemen. Leia, when you are willing away your final days as a lonely old pariah, I hope you are forever haunted by the fact that you missed your chance to join the brave Boschbeck men. For while we are destined to be chapter headings in Westling's history, you are to be consigned to a shameful, bilious footnote. A true man knows what he has to do, Gerhard. True men don't fear the war. If you were any kind of man yourself, you'd understand. There's a foul smell in here. Cowardice. Indeed, all the truly distinguished gentlemen in the establishment should be retiring soon anyway. Tomorrow we ship out. Let us away. I am sure the monumentous occasion will allow this party to spill onto the streets as we find our way to our homes. As he makes to leave, Eugen passes by me and seemingly noticed me for the first time since I entered. My apologies, Elfriede. A lady should not have to endure the presence of such an ugly, shameful soul as Leia's. Before I can respond, Eugen grabs my hand and holds it in his, bowing his head to make his next request. We leave in the pursuit of a farewell party free of seditious presence. Please feel free to accompany us. It would mean the world to the men. Suddenly aware of his position at the head of a column of impatient enlistees, Eugen releases my hand and strides out of the pub without even waiting for an answer. Wolf follows closely behind, spitting before he crosses the threshold. Elfriede, are you coming? Hang on. I made an order when I entered. Just let me cancel it, then I'll be right with you. Alright. Oh, I've got to catch up. See you in a bit. Looking back just the once, August half runs, half stumbles out the door. Wow, that was intense. Woo! And this is probably a fucking long episode, but I don't really, I mean, interrupting it in the middle of there, that makes no sense. So it will be an overly long episode. So that was some intense shit. Wow. Can you even imagine something like that happening? This was really like a witch hunt. And it probably was like that, and probably in some parts of the world it still is. You know, I can never understand war. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Come back for the next part. And I'll see you then. Bye bye.